the man fell. One day I was walking to my elementary school bus stop when I looked at the overpass and saw a man who looked very similar to Jordan Peterson. He stared at me until his nose began to bleed. He then fell off the overpass. I couldn't believe my eyes. He smashed down the concrete road with the force of 1,000 megatons of TNT.
Okay.
My entire state of Pennsylvania was reduced to ash and fire. It's written like pencil, not... Buildings began to crumble and the earth beneath my feet began to tremble. A fleet of 40 firefighters rushed to the scene. Unfortunately,
Can this be a canon event in the Partyverse?
Yeah, sure. They were unable to revive the man who fell. The school bus arrived and picked me up and I was off to school for the day. When I got to my class, my teacher, Miss Wumble-Ass, greeted me as I sat down at my desk.
Miss Wumble-Ass?
The first class of the day was math. Miss Wumble-Ass began to write on the whiteboard with a red marker. She wrote down a math problem and I solved the problem and then the class ended and it was off to recess. My friend...
Oh, Jesus. What now?
My friend Jolly Be Good...
Jolly Be Good?
My friend... My friend Jolly Be Good greeted me by the recess exit doors. I looked in his left hand and he was carrying a basketball. We ran outside and played basketball in the warm summer breeze. I passed the ball and he passed the ball back.
No, Jesus.
Suddenly, the clouds rolled in, and the sirens began to scream. My gym teacher, Mr. My gym teacher, Mr. Neanderthal. My gym teacher, Mr. Neanderthal, came out of the schoolyard shed and shouted, "Get back inside now! There's a thunderstorm!" I panicked as I ran at the speed of sound back into the school. All of a sudden,
You good, man?
the clouds cleared and we went back outside as it was a false alarm. The school bell rang, recess had concluded, and we were ready to begin the next class. Oh, today's science lesson, biology. Miss Wumble-Ass would teach us about biology. 5 hours would pass, 5 hours. And school, 5 hours would pass and school has ended. And the school bus would drive me and my brother home.
What? What?
My brother's name is Wheelchair. When we arrived home, we ran inside and greeted my mother, who had prepared a feast from the east for me and my brother. The feast was mostly Japanese food. The table was laid out with bowls of sushi stew that my mother had spent the last 3 months preparing. As I lifted the bowl over my head, ready to feast, and ready to pour the stew all over my face. The TV, which was playing a commercial for toothpaste when the broadcast was interrupted by some breaking news. The man on the telly said, "Warning, the dead are rising from their graves and attacking the living. Do not go outside. Barricade your home,
Isn't
stay
it?
away from the windows, and arm yourselves with anything you can use as a weapon." My mom turned off the TV and went outside for a cigarette. Okay. As my brother and I continued to feast on the feast from the east, consisting of Japanese food such as sushi stew. I already said that. My brother ran to the
Come on.
my brother ran to the brother shouting, "Uh-oh,
No.
I ate Uh-oh, I ate too fast." About 16 hours later, my brother returned from the bathroom and we continued to feast on our feast from the east. My mother came back inside from her smoke break 16 hours later when suddenly the TV turned itself on. And what happened next will shock you. The TV was playing a marathon of Super Mario Brothers Super Show. My mother
Okay.
said it's time for bed, and I ran upstairs and went to bed. Wait, the end. But then it continues. The next day, I woke up at 7:47 a.m. and was ready to go to school. I ate a peanut sandwich for breakfast and went down the street to my bus stop. There, I saw a man standing on the top of the overpass. He had a shocking, and I mean shocking, resemblance to Joe Rogan. He looked at me and smiled before leaping off the overpass. Wait a minute. He was falling so fast he reached terminal velocity, creating a massive explosion upon impact. The city around me was reduced to ash and fire. Suddenly, my dad pulled up in his pickup truck and shouted, "Get in, I'm driving you to school today."
Right?
This was a pleasant surprise because I did not like riding the bus. My dad dropped me off in front of my school at about 8:22 a.m. I went through the main entrance doors that were located on the west side of Spider Street. I walked into
Okay.
my classroom and found my teacher on the floor picking up garbage. She said, "Whoever threw this on the floor is going to be in some trouble." I shrugged it off and went to my desk where I fell down and broke my neck. Several hundred hours later, I woke up in a hospital bed wearing a Pikachu onesie. My family was at my bedside, but as I was still regaining my vision, it seems like my eyes were closed for centuries. When my blurred vision cleared, my parents looked much older than I remember. They said I had been in a coma for 13,000 years. It was now the year of 2011, and and the future was here.
Future is now. Oh man.
People were driving vending machines instead of cars, and people
Oh,
now
okay.
had bionic eyeballs. I couldn't believe what was unfolding, so much in fact that I couldn't take the stress and had a stroke. The
The
end.
end.
I have no memory of this at all.